Hello everyone. Today we are going to look at creating a notan in Google Drawing. This is a Japanese style of art that we'll be looking at, and on screen you see an example that I have created. Before we go into actually making the notan, I want to point out a couple of things to just kind of get us in the right zone. So we're going to pretend that this is a white page of paper, and we start with a black square of paper. Now, if we had scissors, we would be cutting out this white shape and then flipping it and gluing it here. Then cutting out this white shape, flipping it and gluing it here, and then cutting out this white shape, flipping it and gluing it here. So, and then so on for all of the white versus black shapes that you see. So a notan focuses on light versus dark, which is why we're using black and white, so we can really see that light versus dark, positive space versus negative space. Now that we've looked at and talked about how a notan can be created using paper and scissors and glue, now we're going to use Google Drawing to create that. So you're looking at my example, and now I'm going to show you how to create your own notan. So first thing we're going to do is create a new document for our Google Drawing. So once I've created my new drawing, I'm going to type my full name. And then for the name of this project, we are just going to be creating a basic notan. All right, and I'll click off to the side. The very first thing we're going to do is change the size of our digital page. So I'm going to go to File, Page Setup. I'm going to click on Custom. And I'm going to change the size of my page to 7 by 7 inches. So if you don't see inches, make sure you click that drop down and choose inches, and then click apply. So now we've got a square to work with. The first step is to choose a rectangle. We'll draw a rectangle. I'm not going to have you measure it out. However, I will have you move it so you can see those red guidelines that pull open to make sure that it's centered. So you can see if I bring it, now I know it's centered vertically, and now I know, oops, there it's centered horizontally. So my square is centered. We're going to change the color of it to black. The outline is already black, and this is the start of our page. Now everything we could do, we're going to create some mirror images. So I'm going to just choose, let's choose an arrow. And I'm going to go right to the edge of the square that I've created and click and drag to draw a shape. And when I release that shape, a couple things are happening. Make sure that you're not going too close to a corner. Make sure that your shape is only touching one side. Okay? Now that I've got my shape, I'm going to change the color of my shape to white. I'm going to change the border, so the outline, to white, because it's on the inside of the square. Everything on the inside of the square will be white. Everything on the outside of the square will be black. So now I've got my shape. I'm going to go to Edit, Copy, Edit, Paste. And now I'm going to change my shape to black because this is the shape that I'm going to put on the outside of my square. So I've changed the color. Now I'm going to go to Arrange, Rotate, and Flip horizontally. And I will move that to the side. So this is how I'm creating my positive and negative space. I will go ahead and add 2 more shapes. So right on the edge, and I've drawn it. I will change the color as well as the outline. Now I will copy it and paste it. That new shape I can change to a black fill and a black border. And now I'll go to Arrange, Rotate, and because it's on the top, I'm going to flip vertically. So if it's on the top or the bottom, I'm going to flip it vertically. If it's on one of the sides, I'm going to flip it horizontally. So I've got two of my shapes, and I'm just going to keep going at this point to create and finish my Notan. I will show you one more tip. If you would like to, you can overlap shapes and treat them as one shape. So let me show you what that means. I've drawn my shape. I'm going to turn it white, outline white, and now I'm going to go to copy and paste. I'm going to do that 2 more times because I want 3 of these shapes. So I'm going to overlap these shapes, and now I'm going to treat them as one when I flip them. So I'm going to select, hold down Shift on my keyboard and select the other 2. And now they're one shape, okay? I'm going to go to rotate, I'm going to go to copy, then paste, and now I will go to rotate, flip vertically, change my color, change my outline, and I can line these up. And you saw that I use those red guidelines to make sure I'm balancing this out. So while you're making your shapes, I want you to check a couple things. The edges of your shapes need to be lined up on the edge of the rectangle. They need to meet together. So if you accidentally do something like this, all you have to do is move your shapes. And you see those red guidelines popped open to help me. When you've got a circle, you want to make sure that it's right on the edge here. You can also use a line tool if you'd like to. So I'm using my polyline, and I'm just going to create this line. I need to turn my line white. I'm going to make my line thicker. And now I'm going to use my select arrow to just kind of move my line so it balances right up on the edge. Using a line is a little bit trickier, but I think it looks pretty cool, so it's worth the effort, right? So there's my line. Now I'm going to select it. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste it. I'm going to change that line to black, and I'm going to arrange, rotate, flip vertically. Now I have my line that I will move and match up. And again, it's a little trickier, so just be careful when you balance that out. Let me put one more shape just to kind of balance out my Notan, my drawing. So I'm going to draw a rectangle or a triangle, but I want to move that triangle so that it fits on the side of my shape. So I'm kind of balancing it out to what I'd like to see. Okay, now that I've got my shape, I'm going to move it where I want it, and I'm going to resize it just a little, and now I can turn that shape white. So you can get really creative with this project, do lots of very cool things for it. I'm going to copy and paste, and I want you all to have a lot of fun making this Notan. Let me finish my last little step here. I'll go to arrange, rotate, flip horizontally, and now I can match that up with my other shape. So there is my Notan. Have fun making yours this week. Use lots of shapes, practice your skills, and have an awesome time in Google Drawing.